Good morning, it's March 4th. This is To My Liberal Friends. Well, President Trump will speak at a joint session of Congress tonight, and Democrats will try to show their resistance to his agenda. They will focus their attention and comments on supposed cuts to entitlement programs, Medicare, Social Security, and Medicaid, even though Trump has said they're off the table. The White House has said that Trump will focus on a vision of the future in his speech. The normal reaction to this type of speech will be the party of the president standing and cheering as he hits his points, and Democrats, being the minority now, sitting on their hands. But the real impact of the speech will be how the American public reacts to it. Trump is off to a good start in his second time as the president. He's energetic, and when the public compares him to Joe Biden, who was hidden away from the public, they see a leader who seems to be going nonstop, and this is a winning combination politically. According to the latest Harvard-Harris poll, his overall rating is at 52%. Now, various polls put it somewhere 49 to 52. Considering how polarized we are as a nation, that's a pretty good number. When compared to Biden, 58% think that Trump's doing a better job as president. On the issues, Trump is still riding high. A whopping 81% support him on removing illegal immigrants who have committed crimes, and overall they still strongly support his deporting those that entered the country illegally. But those good numbers don't stop there. The Democrats have focused their attacks on Elon Musk and the efforts to eliminate fraud and waste in government spending. On that issue, 76% support an all-out effort to continue. 70% believe the government budget is filled with waste and fraud, and 60% support the goal of reducing the federal budget by $1 trillion. They favor reducing the deficit by cutting expenditures as opposed to raising taxes. On the issue of DOGE, the public supports the creation of the department by 72%, and a strong 60% believe that DOGE is making a difference. Of course, there are a few thorns on those roses. People do not want DOGE to access sensitive data about themselves, and the voters are really not supportive of the change to the Gulf of America. But these issues should not obscure the basic fact. Voters overwhelmingly support closing the border, cutting government expenditures, and putting merit over identity politics, three main goals of the new administration. And Democrats have collapsed to the lowest rating I've ever recorded. Since I've been watching this, just 36% have a favorable rating of Democrats, which means if the midterms were held today, the Democrats would likely face a huge setback, much worse than Election Day 2024. And this remains the problem for Democrats. On the progressive side of the party, they want to attack and resist at every turn. The few remaining moderates in the party are urging a more pragmatic approach. Pick their fights on the issues they can win and go from there. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer seems to have fallen into the attack camp, and it's not worked out pretty well for him. His ratings continue to tank, and he has an approval rating of negative 14 points. You would think the Democrats would learn some lessons. Their problem is they have such hatred for Donald Trump, something I like to refer to as TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. They cannot see how to be out of the power party. Trump's current high polling numbers leave many Americans wondering how they could have allowed a president, Joe Biden, so incapable of effectively governing and someone who was implementing unpopular policies. With the realization that Biden was cognitively challenged from the beginning of his administration, more and more reports are leaking out by former staffers. The public wonders who is really running the country. But the Democrats seem hell-bent on hanging their strategy on protecting government workers and staying true to their woke social policies. They continue to use scare tactics that have not worked in the past. Martin O'Malley, former governor of Maryland and the recent commissioner of Social Security, claimed yesterday that Social Security would collapse within 3 months because of cuts to the federal workforce. Other Democrats claim other programs would fall and fail, and that Medicaid and Medicare would also collapse. They target these entitlement programs because they think it will resonate with the voters. What they say, 90 days from now, Social Security is still sending out monthly checks. Will O'Malley go on CNN or MSNBC and tell everybody, I was wrong? No doubt he will double down and predict another collapse. Tonight it will be up to Trump to reassure the Americans that he will keep on cutting government and nobody will know the difference. The government and the nation will continue to function. Democrats run the risk of making outlandish claims. If they don't come true, make them look foolish in the least and completely out of touch at the most. Not exactly a path to go down if you want to win future elections. Allow me to close today with some additional comments on the Ukrainian situation. Zelensky met with Senator Chris Murphy, Democrat from Connecticut, an ardent anti-Trump senator, right before the White House meeting. Murphy urged him not to take the deal. Murphy then tweeted out Zelensky would reject the deal. He came to the White House knowing he would not accept the deal and that Trump and Vance expected him to sign. He wanted the U.S. to basically agree to place troops in Ukraine if needed, and that would never happen. He then went to Europe, where British Prime Minister Keir Starmer tried to formulate a peace structure that might place British and French troops in Ukraine. Zelensky then stated to the press that the war between Ukraine and Russia will continue for some time. So when everyone blames Trump and Vance, they should know that Zelensky never intended to sign the agreement when he arrived at the White House. Why even have that meeting? This has been To My Liberal Friends. Thanks for listening.